39 Eurolisa. You can cross 4 into the block behind Southwest over there. Monitor.
All right, clear cross 4 into the block behind Southwest, copy 1-4.
Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Microsoft Flight Simulator, and today we're going to be talking about FS ATC Chatter and what it brings to the sim and is it worth the money that you pay for it. Stick around, guys. Make sure if you guys can that you join us at Flight Sim Expo 2023. That's right, Overkill Simulations is going to be present this year, guys, at the Lone Star Museum in Houston, Texas. If you guys are interested in joining us there, be sure to check down the description below. There is a coupon code that can save you guys a bit of money using my personal reference to get you there. Again, that'll save you a bit of cash in your Flight Sim Expo 2023 experience. This is going to be June 23rd through the 25th of 2023. Again, in Houston, Texas, at the Lone Star Flight Museum. I went a few years ago in Las Vegas, and they are an absolute great time. There's some very, very informative and educational seminars to help better your flight simming experience, as well as a ton of developers of both hardware and software that you guys actually get to try out, essentially a try before you buy experience, as well as talking with the developers themselves and finding out what the products are all about. So again, guys, it's going to be Flight Sim Expo 2023 in Houston, Texas. I hope to see you guys all there. Don't forget to use my coupon code that you can find down in the description below. If you are interested in acquiring any of my Overkill's tutorial guides or simply interested in supporting the channel, please consider joining me on Patreon. Patreon subscribers level tier 2 and above have access to all of my guides as well as any future guides that come along down the road. Patreon link can be found in the description below, and thank you to all of my current subscribers. All right, you guys. So we are going to be working with FS ATC Chatter, and this is what was developed in collaboration with liveatc.net. For those of you who don't know, liveatc.net is exactly what it sounds like. You can go to that website and listen to live air traffic controllers. I don't believe it's everywhere in the world, but most locations you can find. Now, the other cool thing about this is it works very, very well in conjunction with Pilot to ATC, which is, as you guys know, an ATC program. And I will be showing later in the week how the two work in conjunction with each other. Basically, there's a way to set it up so that way the ATC chatter goes on in the background, but then when you actually have executable commands related to you and your aircraft, whether you be talking or receiving information, ATC chatter will silence itself until that communication is completed. Now, this is it's an immersion enhancement by far. It is definitely very, very nice and very, very welcomed. However, there are some catch-22s that you guys need to be aware of right out of the gate. So $15 US, this is going to be where you're going to do your weights and balances. Your weights and balances are going to come from, you can tune your radio inside the aircraft to a specific frequency, such as let's say, like, for example, the video we're about to see here, we are in Phoenix, Sky Harbor Airport. So if we can tune to Phoenix ground, we can tune to Phoenix Tower. And then FS ATC Chatter is going to play traffic from a control tower, from a ground controller, but not specifically Phoenix, right? And so these clips is what they are. They're recordings is what they are. Okay. But these recordings have been edited to remove any location specific information. Like instead of hearing Phoenix Tower, you're just going to hear tower. Instead of hearing, they give an example here that's actually really good depiction. Hang on one second. Let's go find that real quick. Where was it? Here we go. So clips are edited to remove any glaring location-specific information. As an example, the Exchange United 6626 Boston Tower, lineup and weight. They have edited to United 6626 Tower, lineup and weight. So you're not going to hear anything specific to the location outside of these. So runways, you're still going to hear. So if you're at a location like, for example, when I first picked up on this, I was over at Tucson International. Obviously, I know my home airport very, very well. We have sort of two runways. We have a perpendicular, but I don't even think it's used anymore. But you have 1-1 left, 1-1 right, 2-9er right, 2-9er left. Those are the major runways that are used here in Tucson. And as I was listening to the tower talking, it was, it would say runway, 27 left, clear for takeoff kind of thing. It's like, well, that's clearly not my runway. So that's going to be a point of immersion breaker. But at the same token, when I'm up flying around, I flew around with it for a little bit, just sort of see what it was like. And it definitely was nice. And it definitely added quite a bit to the background. And there's a lot of configurables within the software that make it even a bit more enjoyable. So let's go ahead and jump into the airplane. I'm going to show you guys a few things that we can do with it and let you guys hear a bit more of the traffic. All right. So as I said, we're here at Sky Harbor International Airport in Phoenix, Arizona. And so let's go ahead and take a look at some of the cool things. We're going to go through the settings first just so you guys can know how you can configure it right out of the gate. So you got your radios automatically determine controller type based on your COM1, COM2 radio frequency. So what that means is we do want that. What that means is if I tune, oh, I just realized you guys can't see that. Give me a second. I am so sorry, guys. Let's make this so you guys can see it. Hey, that looks better, huh? Okay, so let me back out. We're going to go to settings. There we go. And we're going to start with the radios menu. Let me bring this over just a little bit. I'm going to close that. I want to make sure you guys can see everything nice and clear. Okay, so there we go. So from the radios here, you have automatically determined controller type based on COM1, COM2 frequencies. So if I set my frequency here to Sky Harbor clearance and delivery, then you see over here on the right, the current selected clip recording will come from a clearance delivery clip. Okay, and I'm going to show you guys what that all looks like here in a second. But you also have the ability to automatically tune, which I'll show you guys in a minute as well. So we want that. And then output devices, you can select what, like for example, if you're using headphones and speakers and you only want ATC Chatter to come out your headphones, you could set that here. Like what you're seeing here, this is my virtual reality headset, and these are my desktop speakers. Joystick assignments. This part's kind of nice. So you can toggle the playback, which is the play chatter button right here. So you can actually completely disable it if you want or turn it on and off. Momentarily mute it. So basically while you're holding that button, so this would be a good for like push to talk. While you're holding that button, it would mute the chatter until you let go of said button. The previous controller, that's going to be these guys right here. Okay, so it's going to switch from ground controller. Like for example, if we were on departure, it would start working its way back down. Okay, and then next controller, obviously, go in the other direction. We would start from clearance delivery, work it to ground, go to tower, etc. So again, it comes very handy when you're told to change frequency. And then toggle visibility, which will just literally hide the entire interface. You got a few miscellaneous updates. So this is minimum delay between clips. Default is 5. Maximum delay is 30 seconds. So we can actually tune that down. Like if you don't want 30 seconds between traffic, you can set that down to 20. This keep FSATC on top of all the other windows. That's what I'm doing right now. Allows me to click into the sim, and this doesn't hide. So I did that for you guys. Normally I wouldn't. I actually hate always on top for most applications. And then this one I selected as well. Close FSATC chatter when the simulator shuts down. So when we close Microsoft Flight Simulator, this will automatically close. It'd be nice if they had one that did the opposite and automatically launched it when I did, but there are ways around that, as you guys know. For those of you who don't know, add-ons linker is a perfect example of something that will manage those types of applications for you. Okay, so now let's start playing around with it a little bit. So what I'm going to do here to start is let's go ahead and I'm going to bring up. Well, actually, I want to show you guys one more thing. I'm sorry. Let's go nearest facilities here. Okay, so in nearest facilities, you can select which controllers you actually want. Now, I haven't been able to use ATIS. I haven't seen any function ATIS. It doesn't play any kind of clippings or recordings, which makes sense. It would be kind of cool if it tuned into the real-world ATIS, but I don't think that's live broadcast, and I could be mistaken. I've never actually bothered to look. But so we want to go all, and then what I typically do is remove ATIS, is what I've been doing today. So, like, if we want to tune to Phoenix ground, all right, now I can click right here, and it automatically tune the radio. But let's show things a bit different. Actually, it looks like I've already got it on the swap. So let's do chatter. And let's swap my controls. Or swap my stations. And you can see...
American 1180, American 1178, Washington. Will you be ready on the other side? American 1178, stay on Juliet, cross 4 and monitor tower.
On Juliet, cross 4, monitor tower.
Okay, so it makes it really simple. And then if we want to swap over to, like if we want to go to Phoenix Tower, okay, or I should just say tower. Let's clear some of these out. Let's make this a bit easier.
Taxi.
Maple 7609, runway 1 via taxiway Kilo Charlie to hold short runway 4.
Kilo Charlie, short of 4, Maple 7609.
120. Nine and swap. And you can see up here.
5738, so maintain 2000. 2000, top 5738.
There you go. You can see here it switched over to the tower now. So now all we're going to hear is various clippings from tower traffic.
918 Papa Tango, clear direct Rory. Rory, snap, 18 Papa Tango. 918 Papa Tango, cutting Mesa Center 128.15. 2815 Papa Tango, see you.
So, pretty slick. It's little. There's not much to it. You also have a volume slider here if you wish, to make things a bit easier for managing the comms in your ears and as far as keeping your sounds where you like them.
Direct 335 heading 270.
And then, as I said also, you can do a couple of different things here. So if we want to swap over to, let's go to center, let's take the tower off. We could also just double click and you can see the frequency change and the location change.
Vector traffic. 30 for traffic, seeing Solo 981.
Let's stop there for a second. Okay, so here's the catch. So as I said earlier, the catch is that it's not playing any information specific to your location. ATIS seems to be non-functional. Now you do have a map option that just brings up, it honestly looks like Google Maps. Actually, I can show you guys there. It literally is Google Maps. So, you know, I mean, that's kind of cool. Gives you the location of where you're going for. Tells you your coordinates. So, I mean, that kind of information, you know, doesn't really mean much to me. Is it $15 worth? I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence about it. Do I appreciate the ambient noise? Absolutely. Absolutely. Especially in VR. You know, with VR, you're always looking for that further immersive experience, and this certainly adds a lot. I think the hardest points to get into it is points where you're focused on the traffic. So, example, if you're using something and you're actually requesting your clearance and you're paying attention to taxi instructions, things like that, it does throw you off. Pilot to ATC is a perfect example. Pilot to ATC is going to be airport specific. It is going to tell you, you know, the actual runways that you're expecting to hear. So then to hear information like that, and then to immediately turn around and hear a runway that you know doesn't exist at your location, that's the biggest thing that throws me off. The departures and arrivals, SIDS and stars, doesn't really bother me too much unless it's somewhere that I'm very used to flying. Like, again, Tucson International, you know, when I was first testing this out, obviously I recognize most of those departures and arrivals. We don't have that many in Tucson. I think there's like 3 for each, if that. So, I mean, the big ones, for example, on your departures, you're going to have the Wildcat, the Tucson 8, and the Dingo 5. Actually, I think the Dingo 5 is the arrival. Anyway, I digress. I'd have to look at the charts, but we don't have many. So it's really easy to ascertain, hey, that doesn't belong here, right? But do I think it's a game breaker? No. I think it's going to come down to whether or not you guys find that value is worth the $15. Now, if it was like 5 or 10, I would absolutely say it's worth it. But like $15, it's approaching that limit. Now, the fact that it integrates with Pilot to ATC, that does give it further immersion. That does give it a further desire, or make it a further desirable, if you will. So you guys let me know what you guys think. Let me know if this is something that you guys would think that would enhance your experience. Again, a link to this will be down in the description below. You can find it on flightsim.to. But yeah, tell me your thoughts. As always, guys, stay safe and healthy, and I will see you all in the next one.